Voting is underway across Maharashtra for all the 288 assembly seats, with the ruling BJP-led Mahayuti alliance aiming to retain power and the Mahavikas Aghadi, the MVA alliance, seeking a strong comeback. Bollywood celebrities, needless to say, stepped out of their homes early in the day to exercise their voting rights. Right there at the financial capital, of course, some top names. You won't have any problem familiarizing yourselves with these faces. Now, of course, they're stepping out of their homes to exercise their voting rights. We earlier saw cricketer Sachin Tendulkar, actor Akshay Kumar, Rajkumar Rao, who were amongst the early voters. Film directors Kabir Khan, Zoya Akhtar, actor Ali Fazal, and filmmaker and actor Farhan Akhtar. All of them making a beeline to their respective polling booths quite early in the day to cast their votes. Now, the stakes are high in this make-or-break elections for, well, regional satraps like Sharad Pawar, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, his predecessor Uddhav Thackeray, and Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar. The two Pawars, Shinde and Thackeray, are engaged in an intense and riveting battle to seek popular legitimacy for their parties, and which way the voters turn could spell the end of the road for the two of them when the results of the election to the 288-member Maharashtra Assembly elections are declared just on the 23rd of November. The senior Pawar, who will turn 84 next month, delivered a delimitation blow to his nephew, whose breakaway faction was recognized as the real Nationalist Congress Party by the Election Commission in the recently held Lok Sabha elections. We all remember how that panned out, and is looking to strike a knockout punch in the assembly polls yet again, whilst Ajit Pawar is hoping to bounce back. But that's not all. There are a lot of issues that needs to be taken into account. Prestige issues, you've got NCP versus NCP on more than 40 of those seats. What's going to happen in the financial capital, Mumbai? Well, that's going to be our focus. The urban middle class, is it feeling left out? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. On the broadcast with us, Sunita Aaron, author and consulting editor at the HT, and of course, S. Balakrishnan, executive editor, the Free Press Journal. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Always a pleasure to be speaking to you here on News 9. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to request my panelists also to wait in. Let's listen in to some crucial stakeholders. How are people reacting as they step out and, cast their ballot?
मैंने जाके अभी वोट देकर मैं आ रही हूँ। मैं हमारे देश के जितने भी इस एरिया में रहने वाले सभी जनता से रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि आप सब लोग आकर वोट देने के लिए आइए और देश के भविष्य के लिए ये आपका ड्यूटी है वोट देना। आप जरूर आइए और वोट दीजिए।
You need to just take that little time, and it's so important to come and vote now instead of sitting later and saying, trying to cry about it. So come and vote today. Today is your day to step out and vote.
I will just say one thing. Please vote. Voting is important. That's what is important. I don't think we should comment on politics. We are entertainers, we make films. But yes, voting is very, very important because we cannot sit and crib and complain if you've not voted.
Exactly. I feel like we as citizens, that's our responsibility, and we can't be saying कि ये नहीं हो रहा है, वो नहीं हो रहा है, अगर हम लोग घर से निकल के वोट नहीं कर सकते. तो be, to foresee a future, in respect of that, we should all vote.
आज बहुत ही शुभ दिन है फिर से वोटिंग का। वोटिंग हमारे लिए भारत का सबसे बड़ा पर्व है। क्यों है पर्व? क्योंकि हर भारतीय को वोट देने का एक गर्व है। ये एक ऐसा त्योहार है इस पृथ्वी पर, यदि हर भारतीय ये समझ ले बस, तो जितने भी दुख हैं, जितनी भी बुराइयां हैं इस धरती पर, समाज में, मनुष्य में, वो एक आपकी वोट से, आपकी वोट की चोट पता नहीं है कितने लोगों को ठीक कर सकती है। एक पहली चोट है जो ठीक करने के लिए होती है। हर बुराई पर नुकीली चोट दो, वोट दो, वोट दो, वोट दो।
Well, Sunita Aaron and S. Balakrishnan with me here on the broadcast. We've got more of those reactions. We'll try to intersperse it during the course of the news wheel. But let's get the ball rolling as well. And I really want to focus on Maharashtra's Mumbai particularly. First across to Sunita Aaron. Mr. Aaron, first and foremost, even as the urban middle class is feeling left out. They think they're being taken for granted. There's lack of last mile connectivity. I was earlier listening to some, people from Santa Cruz as well who went up to say that, there's a latest metro that's coming up. The BJP and Eknath Shinde are, heaping praises on the new metro over the last 2.5 years that they've seen being built across the city. But there is lack of last mile connectivity. Somebody else was talking about pothole riddled roads. They're saying we're the biggest taxpayers in the country, and we're still not getting enough because of it. What do you think are some of the prime issues that the urban voters went out and kept in their minds when they were pushing those buttons on the EVM?
I hope they go and vote. Mumbai has a history of not voting, they do vote, but very few come out of their comfort zones and go and cast their vote. So we do see, pictures of film stars and celebrities going and casting their vote. But generally, the public doesn't take so much of interest, though there are so many issues before Mumbai. And I really hope this time they don't vote on communal issues, Hindu and Muslim, but vote for the issues that they're talking about, metro, potholes. I think Mumbai, you don't see much. Look, I stay in Lucknow, but whenever I go to Mumbai, I live there also, I see things deteriorating only. Sometimes because sometimes you might feel that the traffic is improved because of the cops, the brilliant work that they do, but the system does not support them. So I think there is all the more reason the city is flushed with money. People are literate. They understand. They're educated. It's high time they go and cast their vote. And I also think that they are the people who should also vote for whether political parties should be split like this, and if they are split, what should be done, how the government should be formed, because there is no point voting sometimes when you feel that you voted for a particular leader or a party, and eventually everything was, it went waste, down the drains, because the parties were split, and whatever Pawar has said, whether to believe it or not, there were manipulations. So yes, there are civic issues, there are transport issues, there are
But there is more
road issues.
voter apathy at play and at display,
At
more
the
than these
same
issues
time,
at this point in time.
yes, there is
All right.
apathy also.
I'm
There
going
is
to give Mr. Balakrishnan a say here, because Mr. Balakrishnan, of course, we've got the pothole problem. You've got cement concretization of roads that's lacking, air pollution. People are not talking about, and of course, what we're witnessing, the gas chamber here in the national capital and northern India. It's not as worse and severe as that, but is that situation also worsening? And just to add to what where Mrs. Aaron left us, Mumbai city voter turnout at this point in time still at 39.34%, and Mumbai suburban at 40.89%. Over to you, Mr. Balakrishnan.
This there is the problem of road potholes, corruption in the BMC, civic contracts, and RCC roads and all that. But then, if you look at the macro picture, you find the coastal road, one of the finest projects which the municipal corporation of Mumbai has created. From Marine Drive, from Nariman Point, where I'm sitting right now, to Bandra, it just takes 10 minutes, 12 minutes, maybe maximum. And now they are going to extend this coastal road up to Versova and Virar further down. And already work has started in the link road, the link bridge over the Sea, Arabian Sea from Bandra to Versova. Work is going on very fast. And we recently had the Atal Setu. It's a brilliant piece of engineering which was inaugurated by the Prime Minister. So things are happening. It is not nothing's happening. And then somebody mentioned about last mile connectivity. Just imagine 14,000 people are traveling the newly opened underground rail. It is a massive infra project. These are all small problems, speeding problems, which will be overcome. But we should appreciate the fact that a metro line in a to lay underground metro line in a highly congested city with thousands of cables going down, water pipelines going down. Still, the state government has managed to build this thing, and this is only about 40% of the project. The remaining 60 will be completed in the coming months. Is going to be a dream. Already, the metro lines are proving to be a boon for Mumbaikars. So there is a kind of an atmosphere of positivity. everybody that things are happening. That was not the case earlier. 5 years earlier, it was not the case. But now things are indeed happening.
Because I'll tell you what, Mr. Balakrishnan, the BJP leaders are trying to encapsulate, the imagination of the voters by setting this narrative that, look, the last 5 years, divide that into two portions, 2.5 for the previous government and 2.5 for the ruling dispensation currently. And over the last 2.5 years, the latest one, the ball has been moving. Water isn't necessarily standing at one point. You pointed out the Atal Setu bridge, the metro construction. There are several other connectivity bridges as well. But I'm talking about the air pollution. Do you think that's a big factor that the urban voters are going to keep in their mind if they in fact do step out?
No, we don't even have 10% of the air pollution problem which you guys are facing in Delhi. It's not so. Right now, I can see a clear sky from where I'm sitting. There are days when because of atmospheric inversion, problems do take place. But it is not that as bad as what some people are trying to project. But then you mentioned about the 2.5 years. The 2.5 years of Uddhav Thackeray government, what happened? The countries or maybe Asia's biggest industrialist was his house was threatened to be blown up by a serving police sub-inspector, Mr. Sachin Vase. That was the message that was being conveyed. Apparently, there was an effort to extort 2,000 crores from Mukesh Ambani. And then here these people are going and keeping gelatin sticks near his house and India. And let's see the kind of people who were involved in this. They are not criminals. They are people in uniform who were part of this kind of conspiracy. But you don't find any such thing over here.
Some top names were marred. Some top names were marred. You're absolutely right. You've raised a very pertinent point over there. There's a paucity of time over here. I'm going to quickly go back to Mrs. Aaron, who's patiently waiting for us. Ms. Aaron, again looking at Mumbai particularly, what about hygiene and affordable healthcare? A lot of people on the internet, social media, talking about affordable healthcare for the urban middle class voter.
Do they vote for it? Point is, these issues are discussed when elections are held. Do they vote for that? That's a very important thing, because nobody votes for issues that they talk about during elections. Hygiene, of course, it's a major issue. But even people who don't live in castles, are they going to vote for hygiene, or they'll vote for Ladli scheme? So you see what happens during elections. It's really good. Some people come out, they raise issues. They raise issues which are very pertinent to our lives, to our better lives. But people don't vote on these issues. The security part, do they vote on that issue? You vote for a leader, you vote for a party, you vote for a particular ideology right now. Or you are a Hindu or a Muslim. You're voting for that. Or you're voting for a slogan. A slogan which some people didn't like, others were applauding our CM for that. So the point is, today, the issues of roti, kapda, makan, on which I think people did vote at one point of time, has disappeared. It's basically ideology. We all have become, we are voting and supporting parties or leaders of our choice. And this could be because the credibility factor of the politicians, or they deliver, some they don't. Like there are people who say Uddhav Thackeray did perform because during the COVID times, there was appreciation of what he did. But at the same time, Shinde, who doesn't speak too much, people are appreciating. But all these projects that are mentioned, which I also felt has changed the way Bombay commutes, started long time back. They completed during his tenure.
All right.
So the credit goes to successive governments and not to one government or party.
Well, it is, of course, important for a successive and subsequent government to carry on the work of the previous government. Otherwise, it's all going to go kaput and completely fall apart. Before we wrap this particular segment on Mumbai, I'm going to go to Mr. Balakrishnan one last time. Mr. Balakrishnan, all these issues that we've been talking about, the potholes, the air pollution, which you say is not actually a problem, the hygiene and affordable medical health care. We've got overcrowding in the BEST buses and the local trains. Tell me something. Is this really an issue? Are the urban, middle class being ignored? They're saying, both the parties are trying to woo, the rural population, the women voters, not necessarily focusing much on the urban middle class, which I've heard Aditya Thackeray say is the backbone of the government and the economy in Maharashtra. Do you think this is an issue, a debatable point?
No, Kabir, I want to say that all these issues have been subsumed in a massive undercurrent of communal politics, communal polarization, which is happening. In the last Lok Sabha election, you had Muslims voting in a strategic way to defeat the BJP, and they did succeed in a very big way, reducing the number of MPs of the BJP from 23 to single digit number 9. That has made the entire Sangh Parivar sit and take notice. And at that time, the RSS was not very active in voter mobilization. But this time around, the entire Sangh Parivar, led by the RSS and all its front organization, they are working overtime to mobilize Hindu votes in a very big way. And the immediate provocation, according to them, is that the statement by Maulana Sajjad Nomani and then the Ulema Council and the Muslim Welfare Board, all of them appealing to Muslims to come and then vote today. So this has set alarm bells ringing in the RSS headquarters, which is in Maharashtra, and they can't afford to lose Maharashtra, where the basis of the RSS is here. The headquarters is over here. So I am seeing a massive undercurrent of communal politics. People are openly saying that the kind of siege mentality is being created, and then which has been amplified by statements like "batenge to katenge," "ek hai to safe hai." These things have only amplified the innermost fear of the middle class. So they are coming out in a big way in most parts of urban areas of Maharashtra to vote. So I won't be surprised if the final figure touches 60 plus, unlike the Lok Sabha elections. And on 23rd, we will have some lot of interesting surprises to watch.
Well, I'm sure we're again going to be talking on the 23rd as well, sir. On that note, Sunita Aaron, author and consulting editor for HT, and S. Balakrishnan, executive editor at the Free Press Journal. Many thanks. Welcome back. You're watching this special broadcast from our studios here in the National Capital Region, the mini national polls. We were just talking about the 288 seats that are up for grabs in the Maharashtra Assembly elections, but take a look at this. The second and final phase of voting to Jharkhand Assembly is also underway. Polling is taking place in 38 of the 81 Assembly seats, in which 18 constituencies fall in the Santhal Paragana region, comprising 6 districts. Prominent candidates in this phase include incumbent Chief Minister Hemant Soren, his wife Kalpana Soren, both of whom are from the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, the JMM, and also Hemant's sister-in-law, Sita Soren, who had recently jumped ships to the BJP. Now, 31.37 voter turnout was recorded earlier till about 11 a.m., but that has certainly shifted its tone and tenacity, because right now Jharkhand stands at 61.47%, of course, till 3 p.m. is when this voter turnout has been dictated. The voting commenced at 7 a.m. today across the 12 districts. It encompasses 14,218 polling stations and is going to continue right up until 5 p.m. Earlier in the day, Jharkhand BJP President Babulal Marandi cast his vote at a polling booth in Girid. The Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, meanwhile, has alleged that the central security forces are threatening tribal voters in the state. In the first phase, polling was held in 43 assembly segments, which took place on the 13th of this month. It's a straight contest between the ruling JMM-led India Bloc and the BJP-led National Democratic Alliance. Prominent among the candidates include Chief Minister Hemant Soren, his wife Kalpana Soren, sister-in-law Sita Soren, BJP President and ex-Chief Minister Babulal Marandi, Assembly Speaker Ravindranath Mahato, AJSU Party Chief Sudesh Mahato, and Leader of Opposition Amar Kumar Bauri. Altogether, 528 candidates, including 55 women and one belonging to the third gender, are in the fray in these 38 seats up for grabs in the second phase of the Jharkhand Assembly elections. A total of 1.23 crore voters, including 60.79 lakh women, are eligible to exercise their franchise, and over 14,200 polling stations that have been set up in both rural and urban areas for the second and final phase of the Jharkhand Assembly elections. Hemant Soren in the fray, so is Kalpana Soren. Sita Soren recently jumped ships to the BJP. AJSU, a main and key factor in the assembly elections over here. And of course, is it going to be the BJP-led NDA that is going to, well, wrest back control, or is it going to be Hemant Soren who's going to retain his power in Jharkhand. We'll have to wait and find out. But shifting our focus here, because several bypolls that are also taking place, and shifting our focus to Uttar Pradesh, where the Election Commission has very recently ordered the suspension of police personnel accused of violating election guidelines by checking voter IDs and Aadhaar cards, which essentially has to be done by the polling officer, not the police officer, and preventing voters from casting their ballots during the Uttar Pradesh bypolls. Now, action has been taken at 3 different locations. 2 police personnel were suspended after police took cognizance of a video from the Sisamau constituency in Kanpur. Now, 2 sub-inspectors have been suspended for checking voter ID cards. Meanwhile, in Muzaffarnagar, in Moradabad, 1 sub-inspector and 2 constables were removed from the duty. The action followed complaints, including a call for intervention by the Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav, who was very prompt on the social media platform X, pretty much tweeting about every other incident that was taking place vis-a-vis the 9 UP bypolls. And Akhilesh Yadav urged the Election Commission to suspend officers allegedly engaged in voter verification, citing video evidence as well. Responding swiftly, the EC instructed the district election officers and the superintendents of police to verify the complaints and take action. And after confirming the misconduct, the officers were suspended. These personnel that were involved have been removed from duty. Meanwhile, Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar has issued firm instructions to ensure that the fair voting process goes on. He directed the Chief Electoral Officer of Uttar Pradesh and all district officials to take immediate action on complaints and update complainants through social media on the action that has been taken. Voting is currently underway in 9 assembly seats in Uttar Pradesh. Let's quickly listen in to what Akhilesh Yadav had to say.
मीरापुर विधानसभा, कुंदरकी की विधानसभा, करहेल की विधानसभा, कानपुर की विधानसभा सीसामऊ की, और अंबेडकर नगर से लेकर के फूलपुर से लेकर के मिर्जापुर तक की, ये तमाम शिकायतें हम लोग कर चुके हैं। लगता यह है कि चुनाव आयोग की इंद्रियां काम नहीं कर रही हैं, न उसे दिखाई दे रहा है न सुनाई दे रहा है। इतनी शिकायतों के बाद लगता है चुनाव आयोग की इंद्रियां काम नहीं कर रही हैं, न उसे दिखाई दे रहा है न सुनाई। बीजेपी ये चुनाव वोट से नहीं खोट से जीतना चाह रही है।
Meanwhile, a clash broke out between 2 parties during the Meerapur Assembly bypolls in Muzaffarnagar district. And as per the police, the clash broke out near village Kakaroli under the police station of the same name. Muzaffarnagar Senior Superintendent of Police said that the peace has been restored and voting is proceeding in a free and fair manner now.